What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down 4 great wide receiver route running drills that you guys can do, and we're going to be showing how these drills will translate to a live game situation with these game film examples that we are about to play. So I hope this video helps you guys out. Hope it could teach you a few new things, but also, fellas, if you are a wide receiver and would like a daily training schedule to follow with over 200 plus wide receiver on-field drills, check out that very first link in the description below. We map out every single drill for you with the exact sets and reps to follow, put it into a schedule, and we give a video example of each drill. So check out that very first link in the description below if you're interested in this, fellas. Let's get started. So how this video is going to work, fellas, is I'm going to show myself doing a drill. I'm going to talk about the game situation that this drill will translate to, because if you guys are doing drill work, every single drill that you should do, whether it's a warm-up drill or whether it's a full-speed route running drill, should be able to translate to a live game setting. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show the drill full speed. I'm going to show the game example of how it can translate, and then I'm going to break down the technique of how you guys should be doing this specific drill. Okay, so this first drill is going to be working on something called a fake throw by cut. Like you're putting the brakes on, acting like you're slipping under a DB, throwing him by, and then going the opposite direction, pretty much. So how would a fake throw by work? Let's talk about that first. So this example here, you got a DB who's in head up coverage. This wide receiver is going to be running a dig route. So if he was going to do a fake throw by move at the top of the route, he would be faking like he is running an out route. This DB would be on his outside hip. He would take the inside release. He would put the brakes on and act like he's slipping underneath to run an out route and then ultimately run a dig. So it's just an easy way to get a DB to hesitate, to get him to stop his feet, and for us to get more separation. So let's play this full speed. So this wide receiver takes an inside release, he puts the brakes on, gives a little jab to that blind spot, and is able to create separation. So again, we are working on the rhythm of this step right here, the rhythm of the steps at the top of the break, where you put the brakes on, then you give a jab, acting as if you were going to slip back underneath him to get him to hesitate, and we get more space over the middle. You could do this on an out route. You could do this on a dig route. I prefer it on a dig just because of how much time it takes, because it does take a little bit of time, but it is a great way to get separation pretty much, right? So let's play the drill. Let's go back to the drill. So you're going to need 5 cones for this drill. So these 5 cones are going to be set up, and you need maybe about a yard of space, maybe half of a yard of space in between each cone. So the rhythm of this, like let's say your left foot is lined up next to the cones. You're going to be snapping down with your left foot. So you're going to go left, right, and then you're going to go right, then left. So it's left, right, that drops your hips. So I'm going to play at full speed. So left, right, that drops your hips. Then you go right, step with the right foot, and then left, and that's the jab. That's like the fake throw by step. Now, could you flip this and go the other way and go right, left in terms of the rhythm of the steps? Absolutely. But that's just this way. That's just the way this drill works. Just in this specific example, just to add a little bit more creativity to it and make it a little bit more challenging. So remember, the steps are you go left, right, drop down, right, left, crossover. There's a rhythm to it, fellas, because that's the rhythm that we need at the top of the route when doing that fake throw by. So again, the left, right sells like I'm going to be doing the fake throw by. Then the right, left takes that step to that DB's blind spot as if he is on my outside hip. So how many times do you want to do this drill? I recommend probably doing this drill 4 to 6 times on each side and working through just snapping down, then throwing the crossover, snapping down, throwing the crossover, because that will help you guys build on that footwork that you can use at the top of the route to execute that fake throw by move. I'm going to play this again full speed one more time. Great example of this wide receiver using that fake throw by to create separation. So now this next drill here, you honestly could do this leaning up against a tree, a field goal post. You could do this against a soccer net. You could do this against a wall. But this is a drill that's going to help you guys trust that violent hip drop at the top of the break to help you guys slow down and decelerate on a route like a comeback, like a curl, like a hitch, anything where you have to drop your hip. So let's play this full speed. So what you're doing is you're going to lean up against a wall. Try to get the best you can, a 45-degree angle. This tree was kind of at a weird spot. This is like elevated right here, so it's tough. But if you're up against a wall, I would try to get a 45-degree angle. So what you're going to do is you're going to let go. And when you let go, you're going to catch yourself and snap down as if you were trying to drop into the top of the break. So your chin should be going to your knee. You should be sitting your butt down. Your whole entire pad level should drop. Now, how does that tie into a game scenario? Like we said, it's for a route like a curl. It's for a route like a comeback. And you watch Tank Dell run this route right here. drops into the break and snaps down with those hips, right? That's what we are trying to get out of this drill. When you drop into the break, you see how he's here. Chin goes to his knees, sitting his butt down. That's the spot that we're trying to get with that tree or that single wall drill. Now, why do you do it leaning up against a wall? Why not just drop your hips? Why not just go up to a cone and just sit down into the break? And that reason is because when you guys are selling your routes, like let's say you're running, obviously like Dell's running this curl route right here. What is he trying to make the DB think he's doing? He's trying to make the DB think he's running a fade, right? He's going deep. We're trying to throw the ball over his head and just beat him over the top, right? So what sells fade is your speed, your stride, and then your body language, aka your pad level. So when you're going into a break, you are essentially falling into the break. You see how he has this slight forward lean, his chest is ahead of his waist, his chin is down. All of these things right here are making the DB think fade because that's what he's looking at. He is reading our body language. So if we can get comfortable just trusting my hips and using my lower body to break me down, not having to raise up with my chest in order to drop my hips, you're going to get a lot more separation with your routes because you could sell the route longer. So that's what this drill is for. You leaning forward and putting your hands on the tree gets you in that good forward lean pad level, and it gets you comfortable dropping with those hips and trusting those hips at the top of the break. So I recommend probably doing about 20 reps of this specific exercise to help you with that violent hip drop at the top of the route and get us more comfortable selling fade with a good pad level. Okay, so now this next drill that we're going to be going over is going to be for you getting in and out of a cut like a comeback, like a curl, but more specifically a whip route, okay? So what you're going to need is you're going to need 5 cones, again, spaced out maybe about a yard of space or maybe about half a yard. And what you're going to do is you're going to line up on this side of the cones with your chest facing the cones. Obviously, you could do this on the other side as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your right foot and you are going to pivot your right foot over the cones, like this line of cones. You're going to step on the opposite side, and you're going to try to turn your toes over here towards the camera. So I'm going to play this full speed. So I come through, I flip the hips, and you're trying to turn the toe and get straight forward facing the camera. So why do we do this? We do this for this type of situation here, where you are running a whip route. Or, again, like a comeback or a curl. So you see when this wide receiver runs a whip route, what does he do after he snaps down? He's able to flip his hips, right? So he's selling the slant and getting the DB to commit. He puts the brakes on, but after he puts the brakes on, what does he have to do to be able to get out of this route? He's got to get his hips and his shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage so he could drive straight back out at a 90 degree. So watch what his second and watch what his third step do. He snaps down. You see how it pivots? And then that third step pivots. He takes 2 pivot steps while being low to get his hips flipped back around. Now, that's exactly what you would do if you were running a comeback. Let's say you were on the right side of the field and you were running a comeback and you snap down with your left foot. Your right foot would pivot, and then your left foot would then again hook around. And that right and left step, the pivot and the hook step, just like this, they have to be violent steps. They have to be fast, because the faster you flip your hips out of the break, the faster you get your hips and shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage, the faster the route's going to be, right? And we're able to create more separation. So again, I'll play at full speed. You see how he's able to pivot his feet. That pivot is what we are working on in this drill. It is the exact same step. We are working on a very specific step of the movement, that flip. This is like we've already snapped down, and then on the last cone where you step across, you want to try to drive off of it, because this is like, again, you sold the slant, you drop down, now you're worried about flipping your hips. This is the exact drill to work on that step. So what I recommend doing is probably about 5 reps on the right leg where you're flipping and pointing the toe, then 5 reps on the left leg to simulate that great whip route break. Okay, so now, next drill I want to talk about is going to work on your press releases off the line, right? So I would be, doing you guys a disservice if I didn't mention press releases when talking about a route running video, because that ties into route running, right? So this specific press release is going to be for a situation where you got a DB who's lined up outside leverage and you have to take an inside release on the route, whether it's like a slant, whether you got to take the inside release, go run a post, or maybe inside release, maybe you attack inside release and you go run a corner or an out route, whatever it is. But this DB's outside shade, maybe about a yard or 2 off of you. So I call this a triple step release. Some people call it an icky shuffle release, but essentially it's 2 quick steps and then a heavy third step, like a jab step, when you get to the cone. So you need 3 specific cones. You need a start point, you need a first cone, then you need a second cone. So it's 3 steps from cone to cone. You're essentially zigzagging in and out. What I like to have my wide receivers do is that when they break off of this white cone, I have them run a slant, and I'll give them a ball on the slant. Or maybe we could do it, I'm over here and I have them do this and I throw them a fade. It could be either way, but I'm going to play at full speed. Then I'll show a game example. So I come off here, I hit 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, those specific move translates to this exact release. You see, Devontae Adams is going to be running a slant here, and he has this outside shade coverage, maybe about a yard or 2 away from him. So I want you to watch his feet. He takes these 2 quick steps to close the distance with the DB. Then he takes a heavy third step to get this DB to jump and get him to move off his platform. So he comes off, 1, 2, 3. You see how it's 2 quick steps and a heavy third step. He takes a little kick step with the back foot, 1, 2, and then heavy third. That is what we are trying to replicate on this. You could do this release to the inside. You could go left, right, and then left hard cut. You could go right, left, and then right hard cut. But that's what we were trying to simulate. Attacking a DB's leverage outside and stepping outside his frame to get him to move. So I'm going to go back to the drill. So again, you see the first 2 steps, you are very light on your feet. 1, 2, 3. Third step is heavy. That's the step that sells the movement. So back and forth from cone to cone. You get set. You go right, left, right, left. And you're taking those 3 steps to work on that 3-step rhythm off the line of scrimmage. What I recommend doing is probably about 8 reps where you're starting out right, and then going left, left. And then you could flip and alternate. Maybe do like 5 and 5 on each side to get 10 total reps and work on some kind of catch going the opposite way, okay? But this is a great drill, fellas, to work on like a triple step release, closing the space, and then having that heavy third step to get separation from the DB. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. We always appreciate the feedback. It's always great to hear from you guys. And again, fellas, if you would like our 8-week wide receiver on-field workout schedule to follow, 200-plus wide receiver drills, all for route running, catching, press releases, everything. Check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to get you on that. I'll see you guys next time.